Hello again. Today I was at one of my favorite events once again, a big Toastmaster jamboree of sorts. It was our annual spring training session where we learn about roles that we all volunteer to do for the following year. One of the things that I volunteered to do is sort of a promotional job. It's called PR guy, basically. Vice President of Public Relations, official title, right, for a little club of 10 people. But it's very interesting because I think that in order for us to make a difference in the world, there's something to be learned from this. Public relations, basically, and Toastmasters, anyways, is about putting the words out. Putting the word out. It's not about spin doctoring anything or propaganda or anything like that. It is getting the message out, because no matter what message we have, and if nobody, if it can be the greatest message in the world, it can be the most helpful, whatever. But if nobody knows about it, then what's the point, right? So, if we want to make a difference in the world, want to leave a legacy, if you will, to forward this progress that humanity has been on in its ups and downs throughout its history, then we gotta somehow get the word out of the truth as we see it, right? That's what I say. So I'm gonna just relay a few of the things that I was talking about, because I think a lot of the things that I'll be doing to help out our Toastmasters Club relate to whatever message anybody wants to put out there, especially now. Now, to start out with, I had this little quote from a guy that I used to quite admire, because he was a marketing genius. People used to hire him for big money to sell their stuff through mail order back in the day, way before the internet. In fact, he was known to be the brainchild of the greatest, most successful, most profitable mail order campaign in history, which was, if you're old enough to remember, back in the 70s, the coat of arms. Junk mail used to come, mail orders, and you could send away do your name search and send away and get your coat of arms. Those who had European surnames. His name was Gary Halbert, and he had this saying that went something like, "More has been achieved through perspiration rather, than has ever been achieved through meditation." And he goes on to explain that at a certain point we gotta take action in whatever it is that we're doing. And my pitch today, if that's what it was, to those in the audience that I was talking to for about, I don't know, 35 minutes or something, had to do with actions, measurable actions that we can take to get our message out there, to let people know that here I am, here we are, this group or whatever, and we have something that we feel is very important to share. Now, if you look around at how to be effective in putting a message out, there are many ways we can go, right? The challenge is that most of us already have a job, maybe kids, family, other hobbies. We want to sleep once in a while, want to rest once in a while. So if we try to do everything and overwhelm ourselves, we just end up as basket cases. So my strategy that I have found to be effective in the efforts that I've done in these fields is to pick a few tasks that are effective and that can be implemented with very little time, but still have some effectiveness. And those few tasks that I find to be effective, in other words, to get the message out, and they're cheap too, is to use, up here we call it Kijiji, but in some places you might have Craigslist. There's usually a section there for groups or events, or if you're having an event or you want to do a teaching event, sometimes there's educational categories in those. I use that. I use Facebook. I use YouTube. And I use a bit of LinkedIn and Twitter as well, but they don't seem to be as effective. But they're simple. They're simple because once you have a YouTube video, boom, it's done. So, that picking a few tasks, those are the ones that I pick. But whatever ones work for you, right? The next thing I do is I try to systematize those tasks. I know I'm not the greatest, I'm pretty disorganized for the most part, but I try to systematize them, get an idea of a strategy going. For example, if I do a YouTube video, as soon as the YouTube video is done, I download it onto my computer and upload it to my YouTube account. Uploading it is a click and a selection of the YouTube video on the or the video rather, on my desktop on my computer. Boom, click on it and it starts up. Then I go have supper like that and come back in 25 minutes or an hour and it's uploaded. At that point, it's just a matter of typing in the title, a little bit about it, and hitting publish essentially. Once it's published, up comes the links on the top for Facebook, Twitter, and a few others. And once you have accounts for those on your computer, it's a matter of click, and that little text you put under it, and the picture shows up on your YouTube, and so does the text. One click, that's it. Same with Twitter, one click, it's there. And then, what I do if I have an event that's related to that one, I will copy the link for the YouTube video and paste it into my Kijiji, and I think it works the same with Craigslist, right into the field that allows that. Then hit publish on that particular ad that I was doing, and it shows up as a video right in the ad, so people will see it. And then what I do is when people respond to me, I keep a database of the emails, and every time I email those out, I put on the bottom, if you want to be off this email list, let me know. And I email it as a blind carbon copy, because that's respectful. I don't have me being responsible for people getting a bunch of spam that's not from me. But if it's blind carbon copy, pretty cool. So that's a system, right? It's a system. It's I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this. And once you get down to it, a video you can do in a matter of just sitting here and talking. And then you can, or if you're at an event, you can video it, upload it, and then publish it, click it onto Facebook and Twitter. You can click it onto, I believe, LinkedIn. You can copy and paste it wherever you want then. It's out there. And then you have it. You can get a discussion going from that, from the comments in the YouTube, whatever. You can get the word out there and you can build a big repertoire of things, ideas, sharing ideas, right? That's number 2 point. That's the second point. The third point that I talked about today is being actively persistent in that system. See, once again, we can have the greatest information in the world. If nobody knows about it, it's not going anywhere. We can develop the greatest system in the world, but if we don't use it, it's not going to do anything for us, right? So if we develop a system that takes us 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, or a week, whatever it is, if we do it persistently, we get into the habit of doing that. And then, once we have that down and it becomes part of our life, we realize it's not taking much time, we can add more tricks. Maybe go out and do a presentation, or not tricks, but actions, tasks. We can add more tasks, one at a time, and adapt them into the system. For example, if we decide we're going to go out every time we get a chance, an opportunity to speak somewhere, the way we can adapt that into our system is we can bring along our little tripod and our camera and film it. And then do the same thing, upload it to YouTube or Vimeo or whatever it is that we do, and link it here and there all over the place. Spread it out, right? That's a system. So, that's the 4 really. Pick a few tasks. Systematize those tasks. Be persistent in the tasks. And then number 4, add to the tasks. And I would say in conclusion, with these ideas, we can put our efforts out there. And it's an example of we're no longer just thinking about it, we're doing something with our lives, rather than just saying, I wish this world could be better. We're actually injecting ourselves into the world, into the solutions that we see possible, and putting ideas out there that are constructive, that are making a difference. Once again, it was great sharing. I did have a lot of fun at the Toastmasters event. If you've never been to Toastmasters, I recommend it. It's one of those things where even if I don't agree with everything they do there. Some of the stuff I think is kind of silly, but it's a way that we can get ourselves active and develop a skill, the skill of presentation and interacting with people on a more systematic way and a more relaxed way in a lot of ways too, because a lot of practice helps us to relax. So it's great. But anyway, I wanted to share what I shared today because I had my camera set up, but it was kind of awkward the way the room was set up. I've never been in that room before, and it was in great distance, and I said, heck with it. I'll just do it in this manner tonight, share with you the basic contents of what I talked about, and hope it was helpful. Hope it was helpful. I think we can all remember that more has been achieved through perspiration than meditation. Some would beg to differ, but I think at the end of the day, we have to take action. If we're going to share an idea, we got to get it out there, and the more effective, systematized we are, the better, I say. Great sharing again.